Hello, my name is Andrew Bruckner, and I am an employee of Equinix, which is a big data center company headquartered in California, but I live near Denver in Colorado in the United States. Um, in my job, I work in the marketing department, and specifically, I do market intelligence. So I look at what our competitors are doing and how we can kind of strategically position against them, react to them, and be ahead of them. So it's kind of a fun position. And as a manager, part of my job is also to coach the people on my team. So that's a part that I find particularly rewarding here. So with that, though, today we're going to be reading a book. And that book is called Moons. So let me share my screen here, and we will be getting into it. So we're going to start here with the table of contents. So there's one small step. What are moons? How do moons form? Where are moons found? Why do we study moons? And then there's a glossary and more to learn. So with that, let's go through the next page here. So one small step, a lunar module touches down on dark rocky surface. Two astronauts peer through a window. Earth is a small circle in the sky. The astronauts are 238,855 miles or 384,400 kilometers from home. With one step, Neil Armstrong becomes the first person to set foot on the moon. The rocks and dust collected will be studied for years to come. And there's Neil Armstrong. What are moons? Moons are large bodies of rock in outer space. They are also called satellites. Many are covered in deep craters. These were created by impacts with other objects. Moons may have tall mountains. Some are formed by impacts. Others come from volcanoes. The tallest moon mountains in the solar system are more than 10 miles or 16 kilometers high. And a fun fact is a very big volcano. The largest known volcano in the solar system is on Mars. It's called Olympus Mons. This volcano is more than 15 miles tall or 24 kilometers. And here's a picture of a crater. No two moons are alike. Many are shaped like spheres. Others may be bumpy or potato-shaped. Some even have their own atmosphere. Moons are different sizes too. The smallest known moons are only a few miles around. Other moons are bigger than planets. And here's a couple examples of moons with Phobos and Deimos, which are circling Mars. How do moons form? Millions of years ago, the solar system swirled with dust and gas. These materials came together to form some of the solar system's moons. Other moons came from clumps of debris passing through the solar system. The gravity of planets pulled the debris into orbit. This debris became moons. Some moons were created from impacts. Large objects struck planets and sent chunks of rock into space. Gravity kept the debris in orbit around the planets. Astronomers believe Earth's moon was formed from an impact. An object the size of Mars hit Earth. The materials thrown into space joined and became the Earth's moon. And some Earth-moon facts are, it's 238,855 miles from Earth, as we mentioned on a previous page. Its length of orbit is 27 days. It's 6,784 miles around. Its highest point is 35,387 feet. And the temperature range goes from negative 280 degrees to 260 degrees positive Fahrenheit. In Celsius, that's negative 173 to positive 127 degrees. Why are moons found? Where are moons found? There are hundreds of moons in the solar system. Most of these moons orbit planets. Some planets, like Mercury and Venus, have no moons. Others, like Jupiter and Saturn, have more than 50. Sometimes moons can travel around other large objects. More than 200 moons have been found in orbit around asteroids. Fun fact, megamoon. The largest moon in the solar system orbits Jupiter. It's called Ganymede. Ganymede is bigger than the planet Mercury. And here's Jupiter, and here's the planet Ganymede, or excuse me, the moon Ganymede. There are likely many moons beyond the solar system too. In 2017, astronomers spotted what may become the first exomoon seen from Earth. Here's an illustration. With more research and advanced telescopes, astronomers will likely discover more exomoons in the future. Moons are found all over the universe. So if we look at what planets have moons, Mercury and Venus don't have any. The Earth has one, which you've probably seen at night. Mars has 2. Both Jupiter and Saturn have 53. Uranus has 27, and Neptune has 13. Why do we study moons? Astronomers study moons to learn more about the universe. They look at the size and shape of moons. This tells scientists where the moons came from. It also helps them discover what moons are made of. Studying moons helps scientists learn how the solar system was formed. It gives clues to how life on Earth started. Here's a fun fact. In 2015, a small asteroid called BL86 flew by Earth. It had its own moon. The Hubble Space Telescope helps scientists study moons. In the future, even more powerful telescopes will help do this job. NASA plans to launch the James Webb Space Telescope in 2020. With more power to see far-off worlds, astronomers on Earth may discover even more moons. And that actually recently did get launched. I remember reading that in the news. So it's not in this book, but just a little outside fact. Here's our glossary. So astronauts, scientists who explore and study space, astronomers, people who study space, atmosphere, the gases that surround planets and some moons, craters, or deep holes in the surface of a moon or other object, debris, leftover material, exomoon, a moon outside the Earth's solar system, gravity, the force that pulls objects toward one another, impacts, events in which objects hit one another, lunar module, the part of a spacecraft that lands on a moon's surface, NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. NASA is a US government agency responsible for space travel and exploration. Orbit, a complete movement around something in a fixed pattern. Satellites, objects that orbit planets and asteroids. Spheres, ball-shaped objects. Telescopes are instruments used to view distant objects in outer space. And volcanoes are vents that let out hot rocks and steam. So there's a few more things to learn here, but that concludes our overall book here. And there's some books on specific planets and galaxies and comets. So I encourage you to read them all. But it was a pleasure to read with you today, and have a fantastic day.